And we're live. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, lizard people, and variants thereupon. I am your host, Weebo, the Games Master Jones, and tonight is the surprise stream that I couldn't come up with a nice working title for, and still can't, so we're just gonna call it a game night, I guess, or community night, whatever. It's a workshop. It's a work in progress. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm open to it. But the idea here is to kind of beta test an idea that I came up with just over the last week or whatever, and see if it has any viability for future streaming shenanigans. So the working title for the name of the game is PowerPoints. Very, fun stuff. Oh, I didn't introduce my guest. Hi. Also we have Scribe here, the TED expert.
Hello. I am Scribe.
You did update your name like I asked.
I did, just for the heck of it.
And then we have also Sam, the heavenly co-host. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. And there will be an opportunity for y'all to shill yo shit at the end of the games if you would feel so inclined.
Yay, Weebo.
Mm-hmm. Did I ever mention the fact that I am historically horrible at introductions, and that's why I always write them last for my scripts for all of my videos? And so this entire introduction, terrible. 0 out of 10 points. Would not recommend.
So, let me get this straight. You're struggling to improv your intro here.
Yes, actually. I am.
Let's start to go on, shall we?
That is
7 years on YouTube, everybody. 7 years on YouTube.
It's has it been? I thought it was.
Is it 6 or 7? I thought you're coming up on your 7th for some reason.
I'm coming up on my 6th in February. So.
Okay. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
So I have a little grace. At 7 years, you can start to judge me for my shitty intro.
Okay. All right. You've got a couple more months.
Exactly. So the name of the game is PowerPoints. The idea is I come with a whole bunch of preloaded PowerPoints, and they can be literally anything. They are entirely random, but they have like a theme for each PowerPoint. And so the job of my co-hosts this evening will be to present their PowerPoints to the best of their abilities, however they can. So they're improving. The thing that I can't do. They will be improving their PowerPoint presentations. And so to give you an example, the only thing that they will know about the PowerPoint on the onset is going to be something like this. They're going to get the title of the PowerPoint, or like an idea of what the PowerPoint is. And they get to select from my list of 4 PowerPoints that I have. And then they're going to go, oh yeah, I think I'll take that topic. And then they get like maybe a couple seconds, 30 seconds to absorb the first slide and then go, okay, boom, ready. And then we cycle through the next 10 slides and go, present the PowerPoint. So this isn't actually one of the PowerPoints. It's just an example that I came up with to give you guys an idea of what it is that we're looking forward to. So that'll be fun. Brad Young, she turned her OCD into a game. I did not.
OCD, the home game.
Now there was gratuitous use of spreadsheets in this entire process, because how else do you generate graphics and statistical models if not with the use of spreadsheets?
I mean, I don't know about you, Scribe, but I improvise mine.
Yeah, no, I just rely on cherry picking.
Fair enough. So, I have 4 PowerPoints, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And I will let you decide who goes first and
actually, you know what?
Which PowerPoint.
I'm going to trust Sam to choose for me.
Okay.
Ooh,
Sam gets to choose for me, so he gets to do that. I don't know. I want a little bit of risk here. So
okay,
he gets to choose. He gets to choose the one I'm forced to do. There we go.
Okay. So as far as topics go,
well.
Okay, all right. So Sam is picking for Scribe, and Scribe is going first. Do I have that right? Does that make sense?
However you like, whatever.
Is that how I understood that?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we have the order of appearances. Eventually, we will hopefully be visited by the other co-hosts I invited, but he's in the middle of something right now, so that's okay. I thought the PowerPoint thing was a joke. No, it's not a joke. It is.
Yeah, Weebo's not bitter. Weebo's not bitter.
What we're here for. Before we get to that, thank you, Snubber13.
Hey.
Snubber13 for the $20. Speaking of cannibals, Scribe, I can totally see your avatar being part of the White Glove Society from Fallout New Vegas. You only need a fancy hat. A fancy hat like me.
Yes, yeah. Mortimer and me are like total bros, yo.
Yeah.
New Vegas people will get that.
I don't get that, but
that's okay.
I trust
that's fine.
that you got that.
Oh yeah, no. There's a faction in Fallout New Vegas that is a Top Hat and Tails cult of cannibals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You never played Fallout New Vegas? Oh my God.
I don't play a lot of video games these days.
Oh, geez.
Some of us work for a living.
Hey, now I work for a living. I get video games into my life too, but Fallout New Vegas is great.
Well, I work, I cook, I clean. I have 2 cats to be responsible.
You're the perfect wife.
The only thing I haven't done is childbear.
Yet.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Give it time.
Not yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
Shh, Weebo. Just let it happen.
No!
That's not how this works, Sam.
No, that's not the PowerPoint.
That's not the PowerPoint. Exactly. Thank you.
No.
Okay, so Sam, you're picking for Scribe. Your current options are bears, corn, lattes, or penguins.
Ooh. Well, it's got to be penguins, hasn't it? It has to be penguins.
Okay.
Penguins.
How do I present this?
Oh boy.
Slideshow? Okay.
Penguins. Cranes versus penguins. Future output. Oh my God, I know nothing about birds. Okay. I think I have something.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay. How do we begin?
All right. So you just start presenting, and then whenever you want to tell me next slide, and we will go to the next slide.
Let's see. On the spot. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here tonight to talk to you about the conditions of our future. And in consideration of our future, I want to talk to you about the competition between cranes and penguins, because these two groups have distinct advantages and disadvantages one to the other in production and accomplishment. Next slide.
Oh, heck, my bad.
Oh, okay. Well, we're done. Yay, I'm done.
No.
Okay. So there is a vast market available for cranes on the internet that is not being leveraged correctly. As you know, Club Penguin is a very popular and has been a popular platform for many, 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 many years. But except for the fact that it's now gone. So that being the case, now is the time for cranes. What piece of heavy machinery do children love more than bulldozers? Cranes. Lifting heavy things and dropping them on buildings. Now, there's a vast market open for a platform of gaming where you are a crane. But this, the important part, your enemy is the penguin. We have to make sure that penguins do not take over again on the internet, especially in Club Penguin, which is obviously a platform for pedophiles and a bunch of weirdos. Cranes, however, being non-anatomical, will avoid all that problem. It's just giant, hard, girthy, long objects on the internet. It's perfect marketing opportunity. Next slide. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the penguin is going out of style. The penguin is no longer in competition with the rest of the world. So what I propose is we have a game where everybody socializes as heavy machinery and construction equipment. Okay. And they're building something. This is the important part. When you're building something, you're creating the future. And if you're not creating the future, you're just destroying the past. I have no idea what that means. But like a sick penguin, we can take over the market and make sure that the crane is superior. I'm this is my warm-up presentation, I swear to God.
No, this is exactly how I wanted it to go.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's supposed to be a shit show.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
Now, as you can see from this slide, neither of these objects are cranes. Next slide.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, yes, in crane world, you will have the option of building nuclear weapons with your crane, but it has to be a team effort. Everybody has to contribute a little bit more. Only one crane can only lift so much plutonium out of the mine at any one time, and then lift it and then place it into the factory. Now, of course, the ability to gather your plutonium and lift them and drop it into the factory requires time. And time will require the person to, wait on the app. Now, they can speed up the process with microtransactions. And microtransactions are where the money really is here. You can speed up the time of your production. And once you produce enough nuclear weapons, you can nuke Penguin Island, or Club Penguin, or whatever it is. And then you will win. And you will win through religious justification, as we can see from this slide, where the population of the penguins drops the more religious nuclear bombs you create. Next slide.
Okay.
Now, see, you might have thought at the beginning of this presentation that you were going to be seeing a competition between penguins and the aviary version of a crane. The actual crane, like a big beak and everything. But no, I was right. I was making a joke that I didn't know I was making, but I was correct that actual machine cranes were the point of this. Look at those cranes. Each one of those skins costs $55,000. And people will pay that price because we've seen what happened with Star Citizen. And next slide. Well, I don't know what to say.
Credit where credit's due for the crane thing, man.
This is every night before I go to bed, I repeat this mantra in my mind. Because I feel sorry for all those children and man-children who lost their club penguin. But there's creativity and progress to be made with cranes, nuclear weapons, and religiously fueled mass murder. Next slide, if there is one.
I can't fucking.
Our children's health is at stake if we allow penguins to huddle or cuddle them. We cannot let this go on. These are the configurations that penguins may take when you're dropping your bombs, so be sure to drop them in the most tactically useful position. If they are grouped as an example A, you want to drop your bomb slightly off center. In fact, you know what? Just drop it anywhere on there because penguins are jerks. I don't know anymore. Next slide.
Okay.
What? What? Okay. Oh, OSHA violations. Let's talk about those because we will be working with cranes on a digital platform. And so in order to simulate this experience correctly, we should have oversight by OSHA. What steps can we take to achieve the #1 position in this ranking of cranes versus penguins? Or protective personal life-saving equipment? Who can we bribe? Well, it's not really bribes. People think that microtransactions they're not bribes for extra time. They're monetary facilitations of chronological expedience. What competition needs to be eliminated with extreme prejudice? Well, obviously, we don't have to do too much work. Club Penguin has already been shut down. But our main competition is going to be Dozer World, because cranes versus dozers, that's coming on the horizon. So we have to prepare for that. But first, kill the penguins. Next slide. Now, the real penguin. Okay. Yes, the cycle of business in battling penguins, because ultimately our goal is to train children in simulated crane battles with penguins in order to actually eliminate the penguins from the planet. It's sort of like Ender's Game. You ever see Ender's Game? Yeah. You ever see Daryl? Guys remember Daryl? Okay. So, what is the next step in our business model? How do we beat Tesla with our cranes? Where our cranes have to be battery powered, and they have to be called like cyber cranes, and they have to be all like geometric and gray and stuff, and their windows have to look unbreakable, but they have to be like totally breakable. And we have to make promises we can't keep every 2 years and keep people on the hook. Will there ever be a 6th season of Teen Titans? I'm reading this as I'm going along. If we can get enough money from Crane World, then yes. As long as it has Dick Grayson, yes. Why is this guy sometimes light refraction in pink? The souls of baby sea lions? I mean, yes, in Crane World, we do have our own kind of Animal Kingdom Hellraiser that is collecting the souls of... Next slide.
Okay. Wait, you forgot the most important.
Oh, important.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you so much right now, Weaver.
The most efficient way we can achieve synergy between the crane and the penguin is to look at ourselves and look at ourselves very hard. Very hard. Steel hard. Why do we suffer a penguin to live? Why can we not lift ourselves like the mighty crane does, our hopes and dreams, to overcome the tyranny of the penguin? I tell you, friends, today we have a way of doing this, and that is Crane Land. Next slide.
I think that's it.
Thank God. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I started crying halfway through. Actually,
I know,
no,
it was pretty bad, I admit it.
It was tears of laughter. I just like couldn't contain. I had to take my glasses off because I was like I was dying.
Scribe, I'm so sorry, man. If I didn't,
No. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I kept like going seriously, when I saw the first card, I was like, oh, she's talking about the birds. I'm gonna put a twist in there and make it about an actual crane. But no, you thought you were fooling me, didn't you? You thought I was gonna be talking about birds the whole time, and suddenly a crane shows like, oops, I got duped.
Yeah.
I'm just too clever for my own good. Okay.
I guess.
Oh. Well, now I'm on tenterhooks.
Yeah, so I get to pick his, huh?
Remaining topics are bears, corn, and lattes.
I'm gonna give him corn.
Okay.
He gets corn.
A subject I know nothing about.
You don't have to.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's not the point of this.
Oh no.
Okay. Immediately I want to say something, but you go ahead. I have to be quiet now.
speed of corn. The speed of corn. All right, let's see. King Jaley et al. 2020. The speed of corn. Oh, wow. It'd be popping, yo. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Screw it. Let's go with it. I think I've got something.
Okay, all right. I assure you, you are
just
not
run with
prepared for
this.
the rest of these slides.
I'm sure I'm not. Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lizards of all varieties, I'm here today to discuss with you the speed of corn. As you can see from this diagram, there are certain nutritional values in corn. In fact, corn's use in energy production around the world, which is, of course, a component of the speed of corn. Well, it's listed here. It's listed here with this fancy infographic that my secretary, who most assuredly will still have a job after this presentation, has prepared for me.
Games master, but all right.
Yes, indeed. And as you can see in the picture there, we have 750 grams. That is civilized measurements, of course. There's a picture, a handy picture, so you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. It mostly speaks for itself. I like to think of these presentations that I'm providing for you people here today as largely self-explanatory and not at all saving my bacon. Next slide. It should be noted that all corns did give written consent prior to ingestion for the purposes of this presentation. Next slide. I'm going to need a minute to digest this myself. So, in the grand scheme of things, one in every 138 corns that we interviewed disagreed with this, which represents a 99-point-something% certainty that a dose of 75 grams is, in fact, an uncomfortable dosage of corn from their perspective. This has got a lot to do with population distribution within corn societies, and it indicates that corn prefers a sprawling cityscape as opposed to high rises and so on and so forth, especially within the context of digestive tracts. So going forwards, it is important to remember that when deliberating on the speed of corn and the value that it comports to society, that we do not exceed the 75-gram dosage. Elsewise, it may in fact inhibit the speed of corn. Next slide. Oh, Christ alive. We have already, in fact, engaged in experiments to determine the optimum population of corn within digestive tracts, storage facilities, and even fields. Even fields, I tell you. From the graphic in front of you, you can derive a whole host of information, which up until press I felt I might have to go into, but now I'm having second thoughts. Please peruse the data as presented, as in fact it does describe the sensations experienced by the overwhelming majority of the corn population as interviewed. And their sentiments surrounding their status when experiencing population densities exceeding 75 grams of dosage. Much like my own emotional state, right as I present this, common answers included: I felt tense, I felt worried, I had difficulty sleeping, and most importantly, preeminently and empathically understandable in the given situation, I was fatigued.
Oh, you forgot
slide,
the one at the end there.
Oh, I did. Oh. No, I didn't, Weebo. I was irritable.
Okay, fair enough.
Little fourth wall break.
Mhm,
Oh, for the love of God.
mhm.
Oh. So, as we can see, corn populations are not representative of other species of well, anything. I mean, look at that. Look at that sexual. Look at the sexual distribution here of the corn. 159 female corns to every 38. That may or may not be just the number that we interviewed, but hey ho, I'm running with it now. Oh yes. The weight? The weight in kilograms of corn? Holy crap, people, there's some big corn out there. That will be the next presentation. Join me next week when I discuss not only the speed of corn, not only will I expound upon the speed of corn, we will also be discussing the finer points of its weight, height, and BMI, body mass index. Lord have mercy. Next slide. I guess we're expounding upon it now. Here we go. Male corn versus female corn in age, weight, height, and body mass index. Oh, the discrepancies between the corn. The discrepancies between the corn. I'm not quite sure where we get into the exact speed of it. I need to review my slides here. The mean distribution of corn age is apparently 19 years, which is news to me, but hey ho. We're here and we're doing this, so this is the thing. The mean distribution of the weight of individual kernels of corn. Kernels of corn. Kernels of corn. You heard it here first. Kernels of corn. I assure you, this is most certainly not a comedy skit. This is a very, very serious presentation on
Yes,
the
of course,
speed of corn.
naturally.
So I'm looking at you, Jeffrey. Pay attention. This is very important.
Eyes on the screen, Jeffrey.
Eyes on the screen. Eyes on the screen. Yes. So the mean weight of each kernel of corn, which will factor into its speed shortly, I'm sure. I'm hoping. Is of course 54.8 kilograms, and its height is 160. Wait, what's that in Church of England? I'm not quite sure. I may have been smoking the corn. Next slide. Next slide.
Okay, right.
How did Scribe do better with bloody cranes versus penguins? As you can clearly see from this handy graph here, you understand more about what you're seeing than I do, so I'm just going to let this sink in. This information, observe the information, allow the information to percolate through your brain, extract the useful kernels of truth from what is before you.
But
And yes, I think we can move on to the next slide. I got nothing.
Sure. You got
I got nothing.
Okay.
Oh Jesus Christ on the boat.
You wanted to get to the speed of corn. Here it is.
I did, and I would like to go back. I need to read this. Holy crap. Okay, so in terms of the speed of corn, yes, finally, let's actually get onto the the meat and potatoes of today's corn-related discussion. Transit times. Now, this really, truly does begin to reflect the speed of corn and what this means for us human beings, corn lovers and corn haters, as a society. So, when it comes to bowel movements, from the range of 1 to 21 bowel movements an hour. Consumers of corn found that there was a median. Well, amidst consumers of corn, we found that there was a median of 4 bowel movements per hour for ingesters of the corn. Median transit time reported by the participants with an N of 175 was 29, which reflects a surprisingly low number overall, based on expectations and projections prior to this experiment. Median duration of corn was reported as 36. Whatever the hell that means. of the 113 corn-consuming reptiles, which we also included in this as a control group, 101 observed corn after their bowel movements. Next slide.
Jesus.
We invited one participant to expound upon his experiences with the corn, from ingestion to digestion to aforementioned bowel movements, and he reported that, in fact, everything changed. Next slide.
Okay, that was the end.
Oh, thank fuck. What have you done?
So to be fair, that was actually based on a 2020 study about like the actual transit time that it takes for corn to pass through a person from ingestion to bowel movement, and I just kind of like grabbed random odds and tidbits from the study.
See, when I first saw the title, my first thought was I should make this about corn on meth, the speed of corn.
Yeah.
Or like corn being made in a meth or something. I'm also surprised that he didn't at any point, I don't think so anyway, talk about the children of the corn. I thought that would have been a good one in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking for a way to kind of segue it in, and then it came up at the end, and I was like, okay, I'm a little, my corn is very much popped. I'm a little fried here.
Womp
Anyway.
womp.
Welcome, Polly. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry you had technical difficulties, and did one of my stream donos go off while you were in the middle of AAA? Because I think I got comments that said as much.
Yeah, it did. And it was on loop for some reason.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it happens.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know that they were still on for you. I thought that
They
you had
weren't?
shut mine off.
They weren't turned on. I had to actually delete you from OBS to get them to stop.
I thought you'd done that the last time this happened, because it happened before.
But they were still on from the last time that we did Cocktail Hour.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Your audio still is a little bit like far away-ish. Are you using the right microphone?
I am using the right microphone. I've just backed up from it.
No, I mean, like in settings, are you
Yeah, within StreamYards.
within StreamYards?
Goddamn streamer. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Because I make that mistake all the
very well
time.
might be on my camera mic. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
that sounds
what it
like
sounds
it.
like to me. Okay, so now we have 2 presentations left. And I think Polly's up. With no priming whatsoever. He just gets to see the back half of Sam's presentation.
That did not go very well.
Better?
You did. You did very well. Both of you gentlemen have done very
Speak,
well.
Polly, speak.
Do I sound any better?
Oh,
Yes.
much better.
Yes.
I'm amazed you could even hear me considering how fucking far away my fucking camera is. It's like nearly on the other side of the room. Good mic.
Now, see,
It definitely sounded
the advantage Sam had was his accent, because anything he said sounded like it was far more intelligent and coherent than it might have otherwise been. I wish I had that accent, then I'd probably have that advantage.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
can you give me the elevator pitch for the shtick, which I'm kind of picking up from context clues, but nothing more than that.
So the idea is I come to you guys with preloaded presentations of just kind of random things, but they have a theme for each PowerPoint, and I'll like give you an idea of what the theme is before we actually open it up to the presentation, and you get like 30 seconds to look at the first slide, decide on what trajectory you want to go down, and then you present it to the best of your ability, and hilarity ensues. So the slides themselves, they're loaded with they can be loaded with statistics, they can be loaded with memes, graphics of any sort, quotes, they can be loaded with images, and it's up to you to go wherever you want to with the concept that you're being presented. But it's off the cuff, it's improv, and yeah, you're on the spot, but that's the whole point.
Okay, I get okay. The only question I have is the so it's off the cuff and it's freestyle and it's any kind of presentation. And I totally haven't made up presentations off the top of my head in real life at all.
I totally expect that you have, though.
I totally have. You said off of the first slide you have to do what? Can you clarify just that one part?
So you get like 30 seconds to look at the first slide before your presentation begins, to just kind of like collect your ideas and thoughts about the topic, and then you go.
Okay.
And
you got a super chat, Weebo, from Kiev a little bit ago.
That's right. I'm sorry. Thank you, Kiever Dan, for the $2. No, you're not blocked. We were just in the middle of the presentation. So if you donate, I will read it after the current presentation. Just so you know, like if you donate, I will read it unless I forget, in which case then thank you, co-host, for reminding me. But I'll read it after. Sorry, I'm all blurry now. I'll read it after the presentation is over because I don't want to interrupt their flow because, you know, they're doing it so nicely. We got to let them finish. That's what she said. Anyway.
You can't. That's what she said yourself, Weebo. That's not how it works.
But it is what she said. She said it. Okay, so it's Polly's turn. And do I want to let Polly choose his own topic of the two remaining, or do I want to let Sam do it since you guys
should
have
have
been
a
choosing for
democratic
each other?
vote. There's three of us, you know.
Yeah. Well, how do you want to choose the next slide? I guess you want to do it for. Do you want Polly to pick his own slide, or do you want to?
I think between the three of us, we could, choose what to, put upon him.
What's remaining? It's bears and what?
Bears and lattes.
Oh, lattes! Absolutely,
Yeah.
a latte.
Yeah. I don't get a vote. I'm just the games master. I'm here to facilitate the comedy.
You're roboting a bit, Weebo. I don't know if there's anything else going on.
Oh, no, you're roboting.
Oh, am I?
No.
No, sounds fine.
I'm being a dick. I am the games master, so I don't get a vote. So if it's 2 against Polly, then Polly, you have to present on lattes.
All right.
All right. Now, big slide and head to stream.
See, that's what I could have done.
I feel like this is perfect for Polly, actually. Thinking about what I included in the slideshow.
Improvised Polly rant incoming?
Polly, when you want me to click next slide, just say next slide and I'll click it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't much to go off of, so I don't, whatever. It's by all means, just I guess I say when to start it because we're gonna go next slide, that sort of jazz.
Yep, you're in full control. You just don't know what you're in control of.
You're the administrative assistant for the situation.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my presentation on the absolute state of the latte as the lead PR manager for the International Coffee Consortium. Next slide. Now, in every conversation, there's going to be an icebreaker. And so we have to discuss what the ideal latte is and how you will go about procuring it. Next slide. Now, flavor, of course, is key to any latte. Here we see the caramel macchiato, the pumpkin spice, the white chocolate, and the chai tea. Or as I like to call it, the sugary, the blasphemous, the hipster, and the white girl. Now, depending on whom you're trying to break the ice with, you should choose accordingly. If you just want to cover up the bad flavor of the coffee, I suggest you go with the caramel because it's just, after all, burnt sugar. If you're looking to make the white girl feel at ease, the pumpkin spice is the way to go. The hipsters, of course, the chai tea, they don't know what's in it, but they order it because it sounds exotic. And the white chocolate, well, that's just blasphemous. Go for it if you have no other options. Next slide. Cream versus no cream versus a little cream. Now, keeping our minds out of the gutters, we're going to go over this. Our executive assistant, Lois, over at the International Coffee Consortium, put these slides together for me after a solid 6 months of research on my part. And Lois is a little slow. She was a diversity hire. We seem to be missing some text in our description for this slide, but that's okay. Lois means well. So the creme de la creme is not named, but that's okay. She's fun around the office. Look, most people, as you can see, prefer the cream of the cream, the creme de la creme. Now, while Lois forgot to name it, it is clearly the most popular of the bunch, which is rather unfortunate that she made such an ironic mistake. A little cream just in your latte is the next most preferred thing. I think people like overdoing it with the cream of the cream, but really at that point, you're just kind of putting liquid butter into your latte. But that is what people prefer. So that's what you should keep in mind when putting together your ideal latte. Now, for those who like no cream, it's important that this small percentage of people, as you see represented here, okay, that's what we call the RTARD quotient. They're not aware that a latte needs cream. So if they in fact request no cream in their latte, you know with whom you're dealing and the level you need to operate on. And finally, cream, well, they're just the middle of the rotors. Next slide. Let's hope Lois did her job. Cream cons and pros and cons. Well, the pros.
Purple that it is.
The pros of cream is that it preserves the dairy industry, which of course means a strong state of the union, free speech in America, a president with Alzheimer's, and we've succeeded in all of these so far. Babies, because, well, Roe v. Wade's gone, isn't it? Am I right? And then finally, preserving the West, because who else is going to do it if not America, supported by a strong dairy industry? So yeah, those are the pros of cream. But now looking at the cons, it will give you the cream mustache. And, well, how filthy can I get?
Yes.
Did I just... You will, for those of us who already have a mustache, the three of us here, Sam, Scribe, myself, all having mustaches, there's nothing worse than having to get dried hardened cream out of your mustache. Sam would know that better than any of us. A different context, to be sure.
It's true, you know.
I did, yeah. It's nothing you want to deal with. A simple brush of a napkin doesn't work. So yeah, definitely a con, something you want to think about. The orphans, yeah, but we need to get rid of the surplus population. So it's a con, but only in a PR sense. And I am a PR guy for the International Coffee Consortium. So I'm here to, make you aware of those things. Flatulence. Now, cream will make you fart. It's true. And when you're sitting around in a room full of people picking in your ideal latte, be aware. Those who are easily offended, yeah, the room will be gassed out. An IQ of 120 relates somehow to the research. I don't know how. It was not included in the research that I gave to Lois. But as we've said before, she's probably mixed things up, special as she is. High blood pressure. Well, that's inevitably going to come from dairy, but strong America, it's worth the risk. Female doctors. Well, that works in concert with the high blood pressure. Again, it's worth the risk of incompetent doctors, as I said, female doctors, to have to deal with it for a strong America. And a birthday without candles. Well, after you're dead from having high blood pressure and a female doctor, people don't like to put candles on your birthday cake when they celebrate your day of birth in memoriam. So it's an inevitability. Next slide. 200% more lactose. That's what happens when you put cream in your coffee. Is lactose good? Well, yeah, it is. Next slide. Now, as we can see, the latte goes back to the foundations of Rome with Romulus and Remus here suckling at the teat of a wolf.
She-wolf.
She-wolf. It is an ancient practice indeed. It is a long-standing tradition in the West, like we said in the previous slide. Thank you, Lois, for including that. A strong West is what results from the latte, all the way back to the days of the foundation of Rome on the banks of the River Tiber. How could you go wrong? Next slide. Now, a reality that you have to face in dealing with lattes is the hipster crowd, the vegan crowd, the vegetarian crowd, and just the weirdos who are trying to follow a trend. Thus, the induction of the blasphemy of milk. Now, there are several places from which you can produce milk. You can get it from avocados, the skim variety, or as we call it, water added to actual milk, almond, nut milk, or just plain old fucking water. Now, anybody who's ordering milk into their latte is not going to really notice the difference between just water or any of the other varieties named. What you need to do is add extra chai spice, and they won't be able to tell the difference because the overlap between the chai spice hipster crowd and the milk crowd is almost 100%. And the slim majority, or the slim minority rather, that doesn't fit into that group, you can just consider them part of the artard crowd and move on. Next slide. But what about the bean? This is a critical question that a lot of people ignore. Would you rather be the carrot, the egg, or the coffee bean? Well, the answer is clear. The coffee bean. It's exciting. It's roasted. It's full of caffeine. The egg, what's that got going for it? Except protein. The carrot, that's for the vegans we talked about. Waste of time. What counts is the bean. So let's talk further about the bean. Next slide. It is fundamentally the most important part of the bean. That's why we got the planters guy here staring at the beans. What's his name? Mr. Nut?
Mr. Peanut.
Is it just Mr. Peanut? That's so
It's just
weak.
Mr.
Okay.
Peanut.
Okay.
That
Now-
pleases the nut.
He's forgotten his
popped his
monocle,
monocle.
mustache, and top hat and suit today, so he's appearing in the nude. But that's to show you the naked value of the nut. Okay. Fundamentally, the most important part of the latte, it's unavoidable. You can't have it without it. The coffee bean. Now, these are chocolate covered coffee beans, but again, we keep Lois around and we pay her well because we're fundamentally required to by government law. And look, remember, being important. That's the key. Next slide.
That's the end of the slideshow.
But I had so much more to say.
If you would like to continue about the fundamental necessity of the bean, by all means. I, as a woman, agree. The bean is of the utmost importance.
Womp womp.
I was wondering when there'd be a joke about flicking.
That's a sexual innuendo, everybody. Just so you know.
That is indeed
More
what
like-
that was.
Whoa.
More like innuendo.
Whoa. Wait. Whoa. We went to the other part of the anatomy. Whoa. Wait a second. Wrong direction. No.
Or is it?
No eyebrows. No eyebrows. No. No. Not the eyebrows. No. Ah.
Anyway, so that was a lovely presentation that you gave there, Polly. Very good, gentlemen, all of you. Now, I'm going to put someone on the spot here a little bit. We have 4 presentations. There are only 3 of you. Eve, unfortunately, could not make it to present her presentation. So one of you will have to so graciously step into her shoes. And if you want to, attempt her voice to present her presentation.
Okay, well, that's the requirement. I can't do it.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to. I'm just saying you could if you really wanted to like sell that you were Eve. But
All right.
that's okay.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
So the presentation.
It's my turn anyway on the rotation.
Right.
We could roundhouse it.
Oh, each of us take a slide. Yeah.
Group
Okay.
presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back and forth. So I'll do the first card, and then Sam has to pick it up, and then Polly picks up from Sam, and then we loop back around.
Okay. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Sure.
No.
Yeah. No. Yes. No. Maybe so.
All right. So the order is Scribe, Sam, Polly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And go.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're here to learn how to defeat a bear barehanded. This is a step-by-step guide to success. For when you're out in the woods alone and you face one of our Ursine friends, you must know how to defend yourself against them bear paws. So, this course will hopefully help you survive in the worst possible scenario you can find yourself in when camping out in the woods. Take it away, Sam.
Okay, so some of the terrible odds of encountering a bear in the wild and having to contend with this, frankly, bleak scenario. Yes, the odds of being attacked by a bear are around 1 in 2.1 million. That is the likelihood. The likelihood, I feel like I'm already there, but worry not, ladies and gentlemen, because Smith et al. Found that bear spray stopped a bear's undesirable behavior in 92% of cases. Further, 98% of persons using bear spray in close-range encounters escaped uninjured. Unless, of course, you include their pride from not dealing with a bear barehanded. One of the most critical takeaways, which I hope we will expound upon in this presentation, which I have most assuredly read through before continuing, is one must not play dead. You must, in fact, fight back. The bear is looking for food, and it sees you as prey. This information comes to you courtesy of the National Park Service. Next slide.
What to do in the face of a bear attack? That is the critical question which brings us here today, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to answer that in the very next slide.
Segue. Thank you,
The
Polly.
the revenge of Lois.
Step one. When confronted by a bear on its hind legs, you must assume an aggressive position. With that stance you see on the slide there, you will know and let the bear know that you mean business. With your tiny stick figure arms and your thin, reedy-like legs, you will show it dominance. So assume a Popeye stance. Pardon me, my phone is going off. Think of yourself as Popeye and the bear is Bluto, and get ready to do some striking. Next slide.
Now, if like me, you believe that in the prior slide, one of the fundamental parts to one's combat stance when dealing with the bear is a short and stubby erect penis, bear that in mind. I'm not in when dealing with a bear, there are certain key points of weakness and certain key points of strength that a bear has. Now, a bear's points of strength are its gaping maw lined with row upon row upon row of razor-sharp gnashing teeth, and its long, strong arms tipped with the vicious, macerating claws. Avoid these at all costs, ladies and gentlemen. Avoid these at all costs. It's just not worth engaging with them. Duck below them if you can, and as I hinted at before, go for the genitals. They will be there. Next slide.
Now, step 3 is one of the most critical but dangerous involved in all. If the lower ducking maneuver and going for the genitals does not work, you must swiftly shift around behind the bear. It does not have a wide field of view. Its eyes are quite narrow. You will be in its blind spot. You're to hook your arm around the bear's neck, giving it, if you will, a bear hug. This maneuver is easily remembered by that moniker. By wrapping your thin, sinewy, wiry arms around its giant muscular neck, you will be able to choke the life out of the bear.
Too early.
Yield before your powerful masculine or feminine force, because you have in fact caught it in its blind spot. Notice the left leg is hooking the right leg of the bear. This is to stop him from running off, because God damn it, he started this and he won't be escaping. Next slide.
Okay. Once you have completed the bear hug maneuver, the next step is to simply fully mount the bear. You must show that bear who's in control. Bears have a natural instinct to submit to the more dominant sexual partner. By this method, you will fool the bear into thinking that you're mating with it. Or not fool it, depending on what your preferences are. Next slide.
As you can see here from the demonstration provided, hopefully not by anybody Lois knows, this is the position one must assume after foreplay has ensued. The bear, as you can see here, has folded its arms across its chest in a submissive position, and is in fact ready to be copulated with ? I'm not sure on the anatomical correctness of this particular bear, as its sex organs appear to be, above its pelvis and to the rear. But you know what? You're fighting a freaking bear. Roll with it. Next slide.
Jesus Christ.
After the successful completion of the bear hug and the aforementioned copulation, like many creatures, many mammalians, they will fall asleep immediately following sex. You can expect this of your bear attacker as well. He will fall to the ground into a deep hibernation-like slumber, which is familiar to the bear. Now, the last thing you should do is let go at this point. Keep your arm wrapped around its throat. It might just be fooling, and you don't want to get surprised letting him go. Because remember, he started it. This is to the death. Next slide.
A little bit.
Only 7% of American men think they could defeat a grizzly bear in unarmed combat. That is not enough. No, we need to convince men, more men, that they can defeat a grizzly bear. And the only way to do this is to drop men in a cage match with a bear. For profit. Next slide.
And that was the end.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to get a phone call from Peter any day now.
Oh, that was great.
See, I assume that last step will be called the afterglow.
I guess. Oh, now I need to come up with more slideshows, because that worked so much better than I thought it would.
I think I like the roundhousing as well. I think
Yeah.
because it gives you a little bit more time and you can riff off each other. I like
Right.
that.
I think constructive criticism. I think if you had some slides that were a bit more ambiguous, it would give the person more room to maneuver in what they were going to do. Like if you start out with cannibalism and then you just have a picture show up of like a happy child without any text, then I can sort of like move around how that's going to fit into the whole thing. Because too much text might sort of corral me into just reading the card instead of trying to riff off of an improv.
Okay, so you like the ambiguous graphics and infographics more than you actually like the text.
I think it just gives it would give my imagination more, like say, more space to improvise rather than locked in. Like to have, I mean, if the text itself is also ambiguous in a way, or just gives me sort of a prompt, then maybe. But if it's just like statistics and I'm just reading lines. I guess if the presentations are too card to card locked into a topic, that reduces the improv ability.
Okay.
Yeah, I echo Scribe sentiment on that. As the corn one, good topic, fantastic topic. Don't get me wrong, but the stats it's a little hard to go off raw numbers. I don't know. There's probably people who can do a much better job of it than I can, but yeah. Good concept though, Weebo. You've outdone yourself.
Thank you.
Let's have a round of applause in the audience. Don't worry, we can't hear you, but pretend we can.
Okay, so it was a good idea then. If you continue to do this.
Yeah. I wait audience feedback. People in the chat and the comments after the fact. If you're watching in the future, please leave us a comment to let us know.
Yeah, I kept thinking of whose line is it anyway as we went.
Yeah.
Actually, I totally ripped this idea off of Anthpo. He just released a video called PowerPoint Night or something, where he takes like all of his friends and they're supposed to like create their own PowerPoint presentation, I think, and then they come and present it, and it's just it's just a whole bunch of wacky random shenanigans that ensues. And they're still in college, and I'm like, you know what? I could totally do this, and I want to do this. And so I very quickly I was like, I need guests and I need PowerPoints, and I want to do this on Wednesday. So I threw together 4 silly PowerPoints. I think actually Cranes versus Penguins was the first one that I created, and then the Bears one was the last one. And I think you can actually tell that it got better as I kept going through, or as it kept making the PowerPoints. Or at least the flow was there. Because lattes was 3rd. And then
leads corn 2nd, yeah.
The corn was the 2nd one.
Yeah. The other thing that it reminded me of, like my my formula for creating your own TED Talk. You come up with a phrase or something, and then you reverse engineer that into a presentation without any sort of like prep. So like the one that I did as a joke was toxic tranquility. Like, how can I make a case for toxic tranquility?
Yeah.
And so if the first card just has 2 or 3 random words put together that kind of form a phrase, and then everything that follows that is just some like goofy slide that may or may not associate one to the other, then yeah, you can sort of like find a train of thought that you can try to shoehorn each subsequent card into from the beginning. That's kind of how I envision it. If there was to be a part 2,
I would like there to be. I really like the idea, and I had fun. I don't know. Did you guys have fun?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though I kind of put you on the spot.
That's the point,
though, right?
It is the point, but like no hard feelings, right?
No.
No, I'll get you later. There's no hard.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not on air.
You owe me one now.
Oh yeah.
I love collecting favors. It's fine.
Oh no.
That's my shtick.
Wait.
Yeah, if you want to do this next Wednesday, I'm game.
All right.
Oh, likewise, yeah.
I have to come up with more PowerPoints, but yeah, I can do that.
All right, cool.
And if you guys want to come up with a PowerPoint for me.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should set up a suggestions bin, Weebo.
We should.
Yeah. Get some audience involvement.
That would
Yeah,
be
get like
fun.
get the seed title card suggestions, and then everything else can just be whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did like it better in the round, I think, though. And I think, yeah, you guys did better with the riffing off of each other. Definitely. Okay. I have some takeaways.
Yay!
Polly, did you have any well, you weren't here for the first two, so you were kind of here for the first two.
Yeah, this is the
Ish.
two-thirds of Sam's, and then I did, while I was trying to fix my tech problems, I did listen to the very last part of Scribe. So
Okay. Gotcha. Any pointers or things that I could improve upon for the next time we do this?
I think I said my bit.
Yeah, just pretty much what we've highlighted here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm giving Polly time to think, so I'm talking while I'm doing that. This is where improv really comes into it. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. There's the only sort of thing that comes to mind. I mean, it would be more effort, obviously, on your part, but maybe shorter if you wanted to keep the individual ones. I think shorter ones for individual runs, and then the roundhouse one can be the same length or maybe a little bit longer.
I tried to keep them at like 10 slides for each, because I thought that was a good number. But yeah, I can see how 10 for an individual one is a bit long versus 10 for a roundhouse one.
Yeah. Especially if, like me, you were bombing from the start.
And come up with an intro, and I think some background music would help out with some of the pauses.
I need to do better on the intro.
I mean, people have been doing improv in general for a good while, so it never hurts to lift off of people that have done the thing, and so I've already gone through the iterations of what works and what doesn't, and what facilitates and is conducive. So the individual one, you rarely see an improv troupe do individualism, if you know what I mean, in that way, stuck out front. Yeah, it does happen sometimes, but that is really sticking somebody out front and center. And so if that's going to happen, they really should be stuck in it, which I don't mind. That doesn't bother me. I don't think any one of the three of us have any, well, Weebo included, any one of the four of us have public speaking anxieties. That's not a thing of ours, if you know what I mean.
I'm terrified of public speaking. It's like my worst fear.
I could sense the sincerity with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea being, if one person's going to be stuck, shorter, and definitely the hardest on the spot thing. Another thing that improv people do, where it's like, okay, a roundhouse thing, yes, and then random selection of it would be like, okay, and like through like a random number selector or whatever way that you might want to do it, the people that are available, it's going to be, okay, Polly and Scribe have to go with number 4, which is why bestiality is okay, or whatever. And it's like, oh God, no. Like, you understand what I mean? Like it's you find out like on the spot, and then I don't know what Scribe's going to do, and he doesn't know what I'm going to do, and then there's the golden rule of improv, right? Never say no.
Yeah.
Never.
Yes, and
yes, and never refuse what someone is passing to you. You just have to make it work. And it's and it gets away from the, I mean, Scribe mentioned the statistics thing, as did Sam, that does make it a little bit harder, especially if you're trying to run as one individual for a full 10 slides. Even if it does have a lot of stats, the next person is more likely to have an idea, which is going to like give you a minute to let your imagination percolate, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, even if it isn't a full roundhouse selecting 2 people, okay, you 2 are up, which would, you see what I mean? The randomness, you don't know if you're going to be called front and center at any second, thus the on the edgeness of it. For me, that's half the fun. It's like, don't tell me what you're going to give me, just throw it at me. And if you bomb, the hilarity comes out of coming up with something where you don't, right?
The other thing could be, in addition to sort of the randomness of whatever subject you end up with, is also being given a cue as to what audience am I talking to? Like, am I talking?
Good call.
You are giving this presentation before the school board. You're giving this presentation before I don't know, like
elderly rich ladies.
Elderly rich ladies. You're giving it before a dentist convention, something like that, right? Like you also have to put in mind, like, okay, well, I've got the topic of corn digestion in front of dentists. That kind of thing. So that can sort of like change the temper of how you're approaching it as well.
Okay.
So if you like put a whole bunch of different audience types in a hat and pick one out randomly for people, and then show it to the camera and say, so you have to pitch this to, the mortuary convention. I'm like, oh, okay.
I can tell you this, Weebo, the sex bots are very interested in your theme here.
Yeah.
It must be the bowler hat.
Is it the bowler hat? It's not the bow tie?
It's not the bow tie.
Yeah, the bowler hats are cool.
I mean, has there ever been a sketchy site at .xyz.com? No?
I don't know. Have you ever been there?
No,
I've never been to a
I've never
website
had
that was .xyz ever, because it's always been sex bots or Nigerian princes. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know, Polly. Some of
You've
my
met
most
Nigerian
illegal purchases.
princes?
Who hasn't? There's so many.
Me. I haven't. I've never.
We should pair them up with the princes of the Saud family.
Oh.
Together they'll paint the
Killing
world
two
red.
birds with one stone would be awesome.
Right?
Just
There you go.
go off and deal amongst each other.
You can reject their emails in double time.
Shorter for. I'm sorry. I'm writing these down so that I don't forget them when I go to bed tonight. Shorter for individuals. Presentation. And then Scribe wants me to do an intro because I bombed my intro. And add game show music.
You didn't bomb it. There were technical difficulties. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Technical
No.
difficulties with the intro.
Live TV.
There were
It's live
no-
TV.
There were no
You-
technical difficulties.
Weebo,
I just told
Weebo.
you-
Yes,
Oh.
and. Yes, and.
Yes, there were technical difficulties. The technical difficulties are that I'm technically a dum-dum.
Wait. How can you be a woman who doesn't avoid accountability when given the option?
I was raised
That is
by
a very
my
good
father.
question.
Yeah, long silence. Like, oh.
Yes. and I believe the bowler hat and bow tie have got something to do with it. Not traditionally seen upon female presenters. And that is how today Weebo is managing to improvise accountability and accepting thereof.
Yeah. Or just she has her Rocky Horror Picture Show outfit ready.
Actually, no, I had to dig the bow tie out of the closet, and I had to like.
Oh,
Yeah,
you brought it out of the closet?
I
Okay.
did.
The gay bow tie.
Bowler hat was already out of the closet.
Yeah, I can tell. No, it shows.
I
Yeah,
wore it a
ladies and
couple
gentlemen
weeks
of the
ago.
audience, that is exactly how it's done.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All the best outfits come out of the closet.
It's almost like that's where they are supposed to be until you're using them.
Well, that has some implications, but never mind.
No, it's just strewn across the floor. I mean, that's the.
Oh, I
it works
forgot
for
who I
teenage
was
girls. It
talking
works
to.
for me.
I forgot who all I was talking to for a minute there. Okay,
I'll
so
have you know.
I don't need to. I have an idea. Okay, so remember who the audience, or give an idea of who the audience is. Pairs and groups presentations for the longer slides, shorter slides for individual presentations. I need an intro and some game show music, less stats, more images, so that they can be more.
Or just ambiguous stats. Like if you put a bar graph that just says A and B on there or something. If I've already started a riff on a particular idea, I can work
Well,
whatever
Lois
it shows into it.
tried
Yeah.
to bring ambiguous stats into this equation.
I know it
but
did. I
think
know there was a couple. There were a couple.
someone was a little bit salty about like the lack of X and Y axes or something.
Mm.
Polly,
I'm
I think
looking
she's
at
talking
Polly.
about you, mate.
I am talking about Polly. It's like, this doesn't have a title. This isn't a great graph. What are you talking about? There's no description here.
Goddamn Lois.
That was the point, to be ambiguous.
It had
Lois is
things in the
the-
graph that weren't named in the title. What was it going to do except blame it on an artard? I did what? It became part of the lore.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a good
Lois
it was
the
a good-
incompetent. What?
Okay.
Lois. Oh dear. Lois Grifton, the secretary. Of the town. Ah, blimey.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I started crying like at every single presentation at some point. crying of laughter, not like tears of sorrow. 'Cause it was so bad.
Oh god, this is going so badly.
I was
No,
gonna
like-
say, I'm glad you did because I was dying inside.
Genuine tears of laughter, and that's how you know it was like a good. Or it's either that was really good, or I'm super freaking tired and need to go take a nap. We'll go with it was super freaking good.
I was going to say, don't present me with options about what it is that you're crying about, because anxiety, Weebo, Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to assume the best.
Fair. Okay, noted.
I'm kidding, of course.
I need to go catch my breath, and I need to go to
Okay.
bed. So, gentlemen,
Yes.
thank you so much for taking the time to partake in this little experiment. And I'm glad that you enjoyed yourselves and that this was such a success, even though the individuals seem to be slightly above, just slightly above painful or whatever
Let's go with
for
that.
you guys. Slightly above painful. just over the threshold. It's fine. I appreciated the time and that you could be here, and I look forward to doing this again with y'all soon, shortly, hopefully.
Yeah, likewise. Not a problem, Weebo.
Nice. I don't know when exactly the next time will be, but I gotta get the slides, gotta get the intro music, I gotta get the intro and the game show music. Those are two separate things, so I gotta sort that out. And then I was thinking, because Polly suggested like randomizing the pairs. I gotta figure out how to do that too. But I have some ideas for that as well. So I will solicit your attention shortly before the next time it is that we do this. And hopefully I can get more
Sure.
people into it too. Because it is fun. It is a nice
Mhm.
bonding experience.
Mhm.
We're having a good
Mhm.
time. Okay. So I'm gonna call it a stream, ladies and gentlemen, because I have literally nothing else planned beyond this. And my friends need to get back to the rest of their lives. Because they have lives
Yay.
outside the internet, I presume.
Kind of.
Yeah, sure. That. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so
Yep,
reassuring.
sort of thing.
I didn't take the rest of the night off at all.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
No. I had nothing. Planned.
Fair enough.
Okay, so improvised outro music. This is
Good
good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.